Alright. Okay, we will reconvene to open session. We have already had parts of our agenda, and then we had a closed session, so reconvene to the open session. And item 5 is the consent agenda, which includes item A, July 15th, 2024 regular board meeting closed session minutes. Item B on the consent agenda is the treasurer's report, and will be read by Mr. Landry.
A summary of the treasurer's report as of July 31st, 2024, general fund. General account on July 31, 2024, there was a balance of $3,979,223.73 in cash and investments. Receipts since the 1st of August, and not including in the July 31 balance, are $11,877.88. And the disbursements from tonight's August 12th board meeting total $75,125.94. The flexible spending account on July 31, 2024, there was a balance of $27,638.45 in cash and investments. Health reimbursement account on July 31, 2024, there was a balance of $5,723.31 in cash and investments. The debt service fund on July 31, 2024, there was a balance of $674.24 in cash and investments. And for your review, a more detailed report on fund activity is included in the financial statements, which I believe is on your computer. Thus ends the report.
Thank you, Mr. Landry. Item 5C, payment of invoices. Every board member has had a chance to look at those, and if there are any questions, talk to Mr. Betcher-Cotter. Item D, resignations / employment.
Yeah, we had Sherry Anderson, our Northwestern Middle School 6th grade English teacher, has handed in her resignation. We will miss her. We had an employment. We had Greg Nelson he's our 8th grade science teacher at NMS, but he's going to move back into the 6th grade ELA position where he was last year. So that opens up that 8th grade position, and Gabby Gidley will be moving from 1st grade in Iron River to the NMS 8th grade social studies and science to do that move. And we also have Josh Sorvik, who will be our new district speech and language pathologist. Josh comes from to us with a Master's of Arts and Communication Science and Disorders from UND, graduated in 2014. We are recommending all these for.
Okay, thank you. We do need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Crowe, need a motion in a second.
I'll second that.
Second, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Because we do have Mr. Colley, board member, who was here because of cellular device. Approval items. Item 6A, Board of Education priorities.
Yeah, we are looking to approve the 2024-25 board priorities. We used to call our board goals. I'll read through these real quick. Number 1, increase student achievement and continue the academic growth of our students. Number 2, provide mental health support for our staff and students. 3, continue to build a sustainable budget. Subsection A, communication with the municipalities, community members, staff, and students. And B, funding options for long-range capital project plans. And our fourth priority is to attract and retain high-quality instructors and support staff. Teacher compensation, looking at a new compensation model, as well as support staff equal step compensations for staff. Those are the priorities we're looking to improve today.
Those are developed through
We had a board retreat in July for that to develop those.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the board priorities, the 24-25.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Is it specified here? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Just a caveat on that. we did have a, staff meeting with the admin team and, went through those, priorities that we're looking to improve tonight, and then we will be developing, our building, building goals, gradually.
Are you gonna report that back to the board?
Yes,
Or next meeting?
probably, either at the September meeting or the October meeting, because, we kind of were talking through some of that stuff, how we wanna develop that, work that out with the staff. I think we are gonna present some of that to the staff at the, first staff orientation, when the staff comes back, and lay some of that stuff out. Sort of when we have that ready, we will lay it out, bring it back to the board.
Thank you.
Item 6B, milk bids.
Yep, our kids drink milk, so we better get them. So, no, we go through about 160,000 cartons a year roughly, so it's a couple across all of our buildings. So we put this on bid. You guys have a bid tabulation sheet that was there. So our recommendation is Upper Lakes Food. That's the lowest price per carton, essentially, is what we're looking at. They did win the bid last year. I talked to Jackie Wickland, our food service director. So we were able to review everything that way, and her recommendation, my recommendation is to go with Upper Lakes Food over our milk bid for the 24-25 school year.
Next question.
Yes.
So this might sound funky. Why BHG, isn't that bovine growth hormone?
Yep.
And Upper Lakes Foods does
So-
not say that they are BHG free?
That's a typo.
Okay. And the escalator, any idea what that, are these other ones a fixed price?
So Kemp's has an escalator clause too, as most of these will put in their performance food service does not. We did go back and look to see if the milk prices moved significantly over the last school year. They did not. So that's unfortunately a basic protection that these firms put into place, that there's a huge increase in milk prices unexpectedly in January. They have to build some of that in. So it was a part of the Upper Lakes Food bid last year as well.
And then my final one is, and you probably don't know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it anyways.
Certainly try.
It says percentage of milk produced in Wisconsin, Kemp's being 70% and the other ones being 0. Are there any dairy farmers in our district that sell to Kemp's that?
Not that I'm aware of. I will say that.
Well, I'm just, throw the guy a bone.
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
Who did you say they come with this? Who are we used to work with?
Upper Lakes Foods had the bid last year. We have had camps in the past. I can't remember how frequent. Ever since I've been in the chair that I'm in, Upper Lakes Foods has been.
So as a supplier, are they, I mean, this pricing aside, are they preferred?
Yep. Jackie Wickland is the one, obviously, that works closest with these particular folks. Upper Lakes Foods does provide a lot of our foods as well, so she has no reservation with them. I know in the past, this is before I sat here, but sometimes we did have some concerns on deliveries, and we don't need any of our kindergartners mad at us because they can get their chocolate milk. So we try to avoid that.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the Upper Lakes Foods bid on milk provided milk?
I will make a motion to approve the milk bid.
Mr. Lambert,
I will second.
Second.
No,
Any other
taste test
discussion?
next year. We can taste test it if you want.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We need a roll call vote on this. Okay, opposed? There being none, motion passed. Item 6C, 24-25 student teachers special ed course and extracurricular handles.
So,
Transportation.
so last month, we were given, access to look at the, student handbooks, for the elementary, the middle, the high school, special ed, co-curricular, the employee and transportation, handbooks. Tonight, we're looking to approve them. If you had questions for the principals, all the principals are here, as well as our special ed director. So if you have any questions on things, this is the time to go ahead and ask. Otherwise, we are looking for we are looking to approve those items today.
I brought up, at the last meeting, I brought up the dress code in the high school, specifically the hats, allowing hats to be worn. And again, I was not in favor of that. But I guess I'd like to give Mr. Smith an opportunity to tell me what the background is on that.
We've had discussions over the last few years about whether hats should be allowed or not. Various schools have started to allow it, Superior, I think Drummond, Ashland. So kids know each other. So there's always been some discussion amongst the students and the staff. Sometimes the consistency of enforcing the hat rule in certain classrooms hasn't been consistent. We were approached a couple of times last spring by some students about, would we consider allowing hats? And I had asked them at the time to write up a proposal, and I said I would need to take it to the staff, and then we would need to come to the board as part of our handbook revision. So a couple of students took it upon themselves to write up a nice proposal. I had the staff had the opportunity one morning in the spring to meet and discuss it, and the consensus was that they were comfortable allowing the students a 9-week trial on allowing baseball style hats, not stocking hats because of the earbuds. They put the earbuds in, stocking hat, you can't see the earbud, or hoods, you can't see them. And they're an electronic device, so they got those plugged in their ears, you don't know if they're listening or not. So with that caveat, we decided to put it in our handbook and give it a try for 9 weeks, the first term. And I guess we allow hats during some of our dress-up weeks. Homecoming, we allow hats during the dress-up weeks. Halloween Day, they wear hats. Snow Week, we have dress-up days, they wear hats, and we haven't had issues with them taking them off their heads, hitting each other with them, things like that. They wear them, and they wear them outside at the shop. They wear them outside for Fayed. So we just thought it would be a possibility to give it a try. And I don't think the staff was invested that far either way. They were like, let's try it.
I apologize, I didn't read the staff handbook, but does that also extend to staff?
No, students,
It's a trial period
for 9 weeks.
9 weeks, then the staff will go.
And we'll just see how it goes. We have issues, and it's a huge distraction. There are some rules that will be in place, like during exams. You need to take it off during exams so the teachers can see your eyes. You're not looking over here. Teachers, in any case, can have their own classroom rules also. So the students will be told that if the teacher has a classroom rule and you don't want kids wearing hats, we're going to support that. Some teachers are more lenient with the cell phones than others. There is some independence in each individual teacher's classroom in terms of some classroom management rules. So if the teacher would want to say that, they would have to respect that. So those are some
Well,
of the.
I understand that, and to be honest with you, I don't anticipate there would be any real issues with wearing hats. I guess it's just 35 years of being in a classroom that thinking that that's proper attire for a classroom.
I would say there's other things that are also not proper attire in a classroom
Oh, certainly.
that perhaps could be enforced better as well.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
The biggest problem with the hats a few years ago, I remember, was enforcing it. Kind of friction, it wasn't a big problem, but it's friction because it's a rule.
And again, we don't have a handful of kids that like to fight.
Okay, so,
Once upon a time, it was game related. 30 years ago, there was it was because of game issues back in the 80s. That's where a lot of it came. They wear them sideways, they wear it backwards, they wear, the colors on their hats. It was a game thing. I haven't seen evidence of gang activity in our high school yet.
So, any other questions regarding these handbooks?
Oh, at high school, can you ride a side by side in school?
No.
Does it say that in there? It says ATV, but I don't know if that's.
Or the ATV slash side by side.
ATV
side by side.
I wouldn't consider it. Maybe I guess, I don't know.
We've been told there is no legal way to get across either F or 2. They did loosen that up, and then we were told a couple years ago, our insurance company is the one that recommends we shouldn't allow it, because if 4x4 or side by side hits a car in our parking lot, we might have issues. So I think there was a time when the county didn't allow it. They loosened those up, because we've had this request a lot too. They've loosened that up, but then this might even be quoted before your time, I don't recall, that our insurance company said there's a liability issue if you're allowing it and something happens with all the buses and cars in the morning after school. So you're right, it's not in the handbook.
That includes after school activities like games and stuff too, correct?
There is a liability issue, yes.
I know at one point.
Some kids driving here in the summer for summer weights.
Right, that's.
There are no cars, there are no buses, the risk
Looking for the future of myself.
The risk is minimal. The risk is minimal in the summer compared to the school year when there's a parking lot full of cars, the teenagers are driving, and 16 buses pulling in here. And when we've discussed it in the past, it was against the rules. I understand they loosened the rules, but the insurance company was a little nervous, and
I'd have to get clear. I wouldn't know, unless it was Paul, that would have been in the chair.
Right. that
Because you can get here now, but four-wheeler, side by side, whatever.
what?
You can get here by side by side.
Yes, to my knowledge, you can, yes.
So is that worth asking Cody to ask an email to find out whether that's true?
I can investigate this.
Would that,
I'm gonna say if you change anything right now,
would that also, apply to snowmobiles over there?
I would imagine, yes, we don't have them.
A lot of kids that come to games, try to come to games.
just do it all the time.
That'd be at the middle school level too.
Yeah.
Legally, they can.
They can get there, but,
Legally.
yes, yeah, right.
Yeah, we just haven't allowed it.
Yeah. But you can ride a bike there.
Good point.
I don't think you've seen a better bike here in 10 years.
Didn't change.
Jordy, that's pretty close.
Okay, item C, the handbook, do we have a motion to go?
I'll make a motion to approve, item C.
Your second?
So,
Second.
to ask a question,
Further discussion.
sorry. So the hat thing, just to make sure I understand, first 9, so hats are now in the policy. And if at 9 weeks you decide, no more anymore, do we have to amend the policy?
I think what I wrote in the handbook was the 9-week after trial.
So regardless, then after the 9 weeks, we would have to amend it to have it in there? Because, I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I didn't read that part super.
If we felt, it's there, but if we felt that it wasn't, it was a disaster and it was gonna go down, we could amend it, or we would amend it and say we're taking this out of the policy.
Or the state, or it's, we give her the word first term and allow.
So either way, it's.
Either way, we should
So
review it.
9 weeks, you gotta
Either
revise.
way, we should review it again in 9 weeks, yes.
Yeah, I'll be October.
November.
A lot of discussion.
So,
So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
is that a no, Dan?
It was a no.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you catch that? Thank you. Okay, item 6T, 24-25 building emergency management plans.
Yeah, so in your, also in your packet, you had the 24-25 handbooks and the emergency management plan that have been provided for your review. Any questions? on that. We're looking for approval of that as well.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the managers changes in names. And
Yes, yeah, it was just the clerical stuff. It stays the same as it was last year.
a couple of new faces. Make that a
Motion to approve the 24-25 building emergency management plan as written.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any other discussion? It's been a well-crafted emergency plan. People put a lot of work into this over the years. Appreciate that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item E, policies, first reading, new.
Yep, we've got a new policy, 6424, purchasing cards. I'm gonna give this to Cody because he kind of takes care of our finance stuff, so.
Yep, this is the one coming back around, so our purchasing card, or the P card program, we are up and running with that. Viola, our policy provider, a lot of school districts use it, so we want to we have purchasing policies on the books already, but this one's specific to just that particular program, the purchasing card program, so. Pretty straightforward policy that we want to have to make sure we're covered. We are rolling with that program that started here for the last couple of weeks, last 2 weeks.
It's just the first reading, we don't have any motion or discussion on it, so.
Yep, I just want to get it in your hands, take a peek at it, make sure we are dotting all our i's and crossing all our t's, so.
Okay, the second reading of new 2264 special update. This is the second reading.
Yep, so this was the Title IX, non-discrimination on the basis of sex education programs and or activities. We had a little conversation on this at the last board meeting, and I've sent you some other information regarding this policy over the last month on what other school districts are doing in the area, in the state. I sent some emails today from that Mr. Renning had said. See that there was that article from Winnicott that they passed it, and he kind of represents the Winnicott School District as well. A lot of school districts are tabling this right now, even though it went into effect August 1st. Just because of the political landscape. I know I talked to Craig, the superintendent down in Hayward. He said they tabled it till all that stuff with the in the legislative stuff is kind of taken care of, and I know Luck had tabled it, so did and Spooner just didn't approve it. So tonight we either are looking to go ahead and approve it or table this policy as well. If we do table the policy, we would have to go back to rescind the technical changes to the policy 2266 that we approved on July 15th. So I'll open this up for discussion.
Can you enlighten me? You said Spooner
Yes.
voted it down?
Yeah, they voted it. And Dave had said that the board just wasn't going to approve it, so they didn't approve it.
So on the ones that table, what is the long term?
Well,
Table till that November?
you know, I think they just want to see where, well, sometimes it could be November, it could be December. You know, most school districts have a Title IX policy that was in place. The only difference in the new policy, it covers the transgender part. Now, if we want to table because of the political landscape, it's fine. If we ever have a Title IX issue that comes to school, we're still going to do our due diligence and make sure that we follow all the steps that we always follow, and we take care of our students and protect them, and that's never going to change. I mean, we're going to do our due diligence here, but it's something that a lot of districts are doing, and that option is there. But it is a, it is a mandated law by the state of Ed, so that's something we also have to.
on the readings that you provided us, it didn't seem like Wisconsin's involved in any ongoing
Litigation, no,
litigation, am I right?
you're correct.
So,
Well, that's not entirely true. So what I can tell you is that like I have a list, and by the way, thank you, Ms. Moore, for the legwork and outreach. I didn't put a ton of time into talking to a lot of different school districts and superintendents. So I do appreciate that effort very much. Dan, to your specific question regarding litigation in Wisconsin, there's a couple things you need to understand. First of all, there is about close to 50 schools in Wisconsin that have an injunction against this policy or against this order, and it's under the Promise for Liberty legislation, I guess you would say. What a federal judge gave them and said, hey, this district does not have to enforce the policy because of that. So there's a bunch of schools in Wisconsin, interesting enough, Bloomer, Superior School District. So they're already in a camp that says we do not have to enforce this policy. Now, what I also think is important for the board to understand is that if you go to congress.gov, there is Joint Resolution 96 and then Joint Resolution 165 that was recently passed in July. Now, I'll summarize this. Basically, what it says is, and this is that Congress disapproved the rules submitted by the Department of Education. And there's some other language that went into effect April 29th. So at a federal level, there's a bunch of litigation right now, and I'll just say policies that are being put forward. So it'd be my motion. I'd like to make a motion that all the things that are in the landscape right now, that we just table this and rescind 2264 as it. That's my motion.
Motion to table, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Dan, did you?
Opposed?
I said aye.
Okay, thank you.
Motion table. Item G.
Is there a particular, I know it's over, but is there a particular time that when we table something, do we have to say we're gonna bring it back at a particular time for so many days? Or months or what have you?
So do we have to go back and do the July, so that, what is our current, if we table this policy, are we under the old?
So we will follow what we had in place.
Okay.
Even though it's out of compliance, we will still follow that, because that's it's basically the same thing except just a very small portion. So 99.9% of the policy we have would be in place. It's just that one portion.
Yep, so then we have to go back and undo what we did in July.
He what he did is his motion, Vince's motion hit both things.
And what is important to note, that no matter what, every child is going to be respected.
That's right. As a person of color, myself, I don't care if you were black, white, Asian, straight, Finnish, yeah, I will treat you and protect you like you were my own kid.
Thank you. That's
And our staff will do the same as well.
okay. Administrative report, item 7A, communication received, Mr. Moore. We have
Yes.
some action items here.
We do have some action items. We have, is the Boswell family here? After that? Okay, so the Boswell family had contacted us. They have a 4K student that will be coming to school because of the non-4K at Iron River. They're going to be coming over to NES. They have a first grader, Brad? Kindergarten. They have a kindergarten as well. They would like to have that student come over to NES as well because of they'd like both students in the same building. And then and we also have some other people here. The Egleys are here. I'm gonna let the Egleys come up and if you want to just I know you had come last to our July meeting and you were asking to transfer your daughter over to NES from Iron River just because you felt she needed a fresh start, correct? Sorry.
Are we gonna individually do these or are we gonna do them all?
We can do them individually. We could do them either way, whatever you'd like to do. I'm just giving an overview of all of them.
Historically, we've had to have a parent here to 100%. But,
Are you aware of that?
yeah, I was gonna ask the,
The Boswells?
no, Boswell. Did they know that they should have been here? Anybody know?
That I don't know, of course, honestly.
Who did that email was? Yeah, check. This fellow.
So I spoke with Mrs. Boswell, I did not speak to the department here, but I talked about the need for 4K. So I guess I can't speak to that.
All right, so I guess just, if we make an exception on this one, because we got, this is, Keller maybe new to this, you got the email, Andrew Brad, did historically, unless you want to say something different, like, a
Historically, people required to come.
parent is required to come and represent themselves to give their 2 bits.
Yep.
But if that wasn't shared with these people,
I know that I did not share that information to the Mrs. Karen. Mrs. Karen was there. So that's my mistake.
I did not.
I think that should be made plain to everyone. In this case, it's our error.
I think this falls on us.
Yeah. No, take it.
I'll take the onus, and again, the request for the move is because, need to do 4K.
No, I understand.
That's also our issue too, so.
Too strict for me.
All right, sorry, Mike.
No, that's fine. You want to?
Yeah, so I was just gonna give an overview of everybody and if they shared it out. And I know the Andrews wanted to come and talk again because they wanted their daughter to have a fresh start. And we also have the Gilmores here tonight. And they were looking to, they had left us last year and went to Ashland and now are thinking about coming back. And so they are looking to come back as well. The other part of this is they are looking to get transportation. Their child to be able to come over, because the rules always stated you can intertransfer between Iron River and NES, but you would have to bring them. They are asking to see if we can transport these kids, and that is something that we will have to vote on tonight. Now, would you like to, Mrs. Gilmore, would you like to say anything that you and your husband would like to say tonight? Board.
I prepared a little something. So thank you for allowing us to present tonight, requesting an inter-district transfer of transportation to NES. After a challenging 2022-23 school year at Iron River Elementary, which concluded with unresolved issues with an Iron River Elementary teacher, we withdrew our children from the district. We enrolled them in a private school for the 23-24 school year where they thrived and excelled. We're extremely pleased with their current school, but the daily 144-mile commute there and back is become unsustainable due to our work commitments and travel requirements professionally. Since that particular teacher is still teaching at Iron River, we feel that it is not in the best interest of our children to return back to Iron River Elementary. We also feel that Northwestern Elementary would be a better fit for our children, as it does provide a larger student body, providing a better social environment for our eldest child, who is quite neurodivergent, a more comprehensive special education program. Our son was on an IEP at Iron River Elementary for speech. Our daughter, we had just gotten diagnosed, and Mrs. Nielsen had recommended that we wait until the 23-24 school year to start the IEP because it was right at the end. So we'll be doing that if this gets approved. And then as well as enhanced access to extracurricular activities. We love Iron River Elementary, but with the issues that remain unresolved with that teacher, we can't put our son in the situation that our daughter was put in. Thank you.
So I guess I would, with this being said, we wanted to table it last month for Mrs. Egley. The recommendation from the admin team would be to grant this transfer for all three students, or all the students, and to transport them because of special circumstances that we feel would deem possible, or deem needed.
So that's using for a motion.
I would be looking for a motion to approve all three families to have their students transferred, approved for inter transfer, and for our transportation to transport them from Iron River to NES.
I'll make that motion.
Before you guys do that, can I ask, just to define what that means with transfer? Does that mean bus pickup at Iron River? Because I know that currently what's happening is those kids are busing from Iron River to Maple School District.
Let me ask-
That's what we are hoping for, but in the case of, okay, does this transfer mean, okay, pick up at house? Does this mean pick up at Iron River? Just so that we can define it, so that we are very clear on it.
Yeah, Mrs. Engel, let me ask you this: does the bus pick your child up at your home?
No,
Okay.
that's not what if we were to need to, knowing that it would be an option, it would be nice to know. I don't foresee that we would use that service. I don't know about you guys.
No, we can drop off at.
We are
can drop
planning on
and
dropping
pick up
off at Iron River.
At Iron River.
However, if my daughter stays at her dad's house, he lives in Brule, and it wouldn't make sense for him to take.
No, I would recommend that we would, if your house is on the route, we would pick up at the home.
Okay.
As long as it's on a route, I have no problem picking up on a route. If that makes sense.
Yes.
You can communicate with the transportation department, or alternate.
I'll still
Thank you.
make that motion.
Okay, so made it. There, you have a second? Second. Further discussion?
I guess I would just like to say, I don't want to oversay it. But we had a really long conversation regarding a lot of this, which is why we started after 5:30. But yeah, there were a lot of circumstances that we took into consideration on these particular cases, which is going to end up leading to other issues, I think, that we're going to end up discussing later. But today, that's what it is.
Case-specific circumstances.
So,
That's all. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 7B, budget hearing, annual meeting.
Thank you guys.
You want me to take this one?
Yeah, go ahead, Cody. Yes.
So, yeah, formally, we just announced our budget hearing will begin in this room, boardroom 2070, or 2270, excuse me, at 7 PM on September 23rd, 2024. So,
Is that on Monday?
so this is Monday evening, yep. We're in the process of building the budget books. All the stuff will be available for those that attend that meeting. We do also put it online after that meeting commences and ends. So we'll talk about our projected revenues, our projected expenditures, and cover audited costs for the previous prior year. That information will be provided to the community. Obviously, the 3 board members that are required to attend, we encourage them all to attend if they wish, but the president, the treasurer, the clerk are part of that meeting.
did I make it? I'm doing a lot of talking. That's a public meeting.
This is a public meeting.
That the actual public votes, makes motions. So if the public wants to be part of that and say something without us saying, we appreciate, we hear you, but we can't talk to you, that's where you get to actually do that. So,
Okay, that's what an annual.
So we'll walk through a proposed budget that I would appreciate any input.
Maintenance update.
Can I add something? Yeah, I just want to add a couple more things. We got some correspondence from WASB that they will be having the It is the fall regional meeting and workshop, that we went through last year. It will be on October 15th in Hayward at the Steakhouse and Lodge. So if you can put that on your calendar and look to, plan for that.
Where's that? Hayward?
Yep, Hayward.
And that's Wednesday.
That is the Wednesday. And the other correspondence we have is the 2025 Wisconsin State Education Convention will be coming to Milwaukee, January 22nd to 24th. The reason I'm bringing this up, do we have, is there anybody that's looking to go to this? Because we need to just have rooms fill up really fast. So Jen wanted me to bring this up to say they open tomorrow. So if we could get maybe a tentative number of people that are going, that would be great. We can, Jen can order rooms tomorrow.
Is it at the same place?
It is at the same place, yes.
WASD was.
It was October 15th.
That'd be a Tuesday.
January 22nd to the 24th.
October 15th.
Okay, so it's a Tuesday night. I'll be there for 15.
Well, at this point, I would say I would go to the Milwaukee.
So 1, 2. Anyone else? Voting to be going, so those 3 for sure.
What's our deadline for
She wants to order rooms tomorrow.
I can cancel them if I need to,
Yeah,
but if there's
yeah, if you
any
just
thought
have a
at all that
tentative
you're gonna
that
go, let me
wanna
know
go.
so I can at least get them reserved.
So if you want to go now and you can't go later, we can order the room and then you know, cancel out. So,
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
yep. I know that's a big commitment for a lot of you because it is, next few days.
Okay, okay, the maintenance update, Mr. Petricott.
You guys have a copy of the maintenance report. It's been a busy time of year, as it always is for us in this world. We try to get a lot of projects in before our staff and our students come back. We always come down to the wire because, as you guys know, our construction folks are very busy during this time of year. But a lot of general maintenance going on right now, cleaning classrooms, waxing floors, all the general stuff we do. Our gym floors have been refinished. The turf has met its completion date, so that is completed. We are working on the entry gate that will be up and running before the first home football game. Want to give recognition to Lawrence Charlier and the tech ed crew. We've got a lot of students be a part of that project. We want to on that one, but a little bit of credit where credit is due.
How can we send a recognition their way too?
Well,
I think it's fantastic that we got these students that are giving up, you know, their summer days, welding all day. And I was there one day when they were working, and I was like, man, you guys are awesome.
Well, the opening night, the first home game, which will be a week from Friday, we will be having a presentation. We'll be having a kickoff night. We're going to have people there from 5:30 to 6:45. Mr. Smith's going to order subs and some drinks, and people will go out in the field, check it out. But then when we do the presentation, Essential Health will be there to kind of be our big sponsor. But we're also going to have the Tiger Manufacturing out there to get recognized for what they did on that team event. So we do have a kind of a big plan that's coming down the pike, and we've got Tom Shadansky from WIA is coming, who's on that, one of the execs coming up for this, like they did with Travis Wilson. We're friends with sports, so we are going to get some good press as well as all our local, you know, the Telegram and food stations.
I want to make sure I got the date. That's what day again?
Friday, August 23rd.
August
Are
23rd.
they gonna present you with a big check?
You know, we didn't want to do that.
What?
Yeah.
Like Effie Gilmore, I had a big check.
We had a big check.
You got the big jack from Sonoma.
I know, but this is all my big checks.
So also, outside of the passions here,
So there's those of you who maybe have noticed if you're going down on what we call our lower lot, or the lot closest to the athletic complex, there's a foundation there. This is all funded through a grant. Darren Nyhus, through the ag program, we're going to put up a greenhouse. So we had to get the foundation in play there, so that got done. Which we're excited about. Also, if you look on the south side there, what I would call the catch basin, in between the lower lot and the upper lot, that was an overgrown eyesore, in my opinion. But we we got in there, we tore all the brush out, and talking to our architect, that was always supposed to be an area that was slightly maintained kind of once a year, knocked back down, so the brush doesn't grow in there heavily, so if you look, it looks quite a bit different than a few days ago, a few weeks ago. Right now, we're just planting grasses back in, that'll naturally grow, but it looks good.
It looks great. We did displace family foxes, but they found a new home, so.
All kinds of critters. Wait, who's gonna build the greenhouse? It's a prefab greenhouse, so it's something that we actually ordered a few years back. Mr. Knight, I had a conversation, he wants to make it a class project, so it's nothing too in-depth, I'm not worried about structures being done incorrectly. We gotta probably get some masonry screws to make sure we can anchor that into the slab after that, it bolts together. So there's a 9 by 21 size greenhouse, so.
It's not gonna be janky, is it?
I didn't order the greenhouse, it was ordered a while ago.
I'm sure we overpaid for it, so don't worry.
You drive by these houses, they got these greenhouses at the home.
That's bad construction, I don't know who that is.
Okay.
So about that later.
Also the elementary.
Yeah, the other couple of big projects that we had, so I'm happy to report that the bridge at the K2 playground that has been an issue for a long time is fixed. I know that took a while, but we had to use the manufacturer to make sure that we get it fixed correctly for liability purposes, but that part took almost 10 to 12 weeks to get here, unfortunately. It is here, it's been up and running with that tire stem for a few weeks now.
I'm gonna cross it myself.
There you go. Belknap Electric was in, the lighting in the NES gym, those who were familiar with it, was the LED strips, there were a number of them burned out. It was getting to a point where that gym was getting fairly dark, so we had to replace the lighting in there, that's been finished, and then the K2 playground has also been fixed as well. So the issue there is that we have about 30 years of organic material that basically wood chips that were decaying over the years that filled in the playground, and we didn't have any way to actually get water go through there. We got a lot of rain and flood all the wood chips out of the playground boundaries. So we had to invest the time, and we should be good for another 30 plus years to make sure that playground is totally good for less rain. So if you get a chance to drive by, it looks great.
That's a good project, will we in budget?
We were on budget. Yep. So we're right where we need to come in, and we should be good. Long after I'm gone.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Item 7D, WASB correspondence and legislative update. Mr. Cowley, did you have anything?
Mr. Cowley actually sent it to me to read. Dan, I got it.
All right, thank you.
Yes, the Department of Public Instruction released data today showing Wisconsin students continue dealing with unprecedented mental health challenges. The 2023 Youth Risk Behavior Survey Summary Report provides a window into the mental and physical health and the emotional well-being of Wisconsin's youth. Among key findings, students generally reported experiencing significant mental health challenges while having fewer supports at school and at home. The Department of Public Instruction released data today showing Wisconsin students continue dealing with unprecedented mental health challenges. In August 2023, Governor Evers created the Governor's Task Force on Workforce and Artificial Intelligence through executive order. The task force sought to bring together key stakeholders from a range of industries to study the potential effects of AI on the workforce and suggest potential policies and investments the state can make to address this profound change in the labor and technological landscape. Today, the task force announced that it has published its final action plan after concluding its work. The plan identified a number of K-12 education policy, research, and development suggestions, which we have highlighted below in general. The action plan has two thematic takeaways. First, the task force set up to create overall principles that should guide the development and implementation of any future state policy. Lastly, they collaborated with DPI to set a list of goals to pursue in the immediate future as AI technology and guidelines.
Very nice.
You want to do it next week?
Thank you. Item 7E, the CISA 12 report, Mr. Blahnik.
Yes, I have a meeting on Friday for Dr. Madison's evaluation. And then next Tuesday, we have an in-person meeting.
Okay. How's it, the new building working out? Yeah. Okay, item 7F, donation, Mr. Moore.
Do we have any donations? No donations.
Okay. Item G, student, staff, and community recognition.
Yes, I do have one for this. First, I'd like to just I wanted to welcome my admin team back. We had a meeting early last week, and it was great to have everybody back. They're ready to go, but there's one person I would really like to recognize tonight, and that's Mr. Fetchel Cotter. He has spent the summer not only working on the budget and the finance part, but he wears a lot of hats. You know, as you can see from the maintenance report. I mean, he's trying to coordinate stuff with the gate, the greenhouse, the playground, getting that the holding area cleaned up in that from the high school. He has above and beyond this summer of wearing those other hats, and just exceeded. He's done a great job. I just want the board to know how much I appreciate it. So thank you so much. Yes, and then we have a new person to our admin team. Alexis Landher is our new associate principal at the high school. Alexis comes to us as the athletic director from Chippewa Falls McDonald High School, and we are very excited to have her here. So let's stand up and just say hi. Her and Mr. Smith have been working really well together, and she fits right in that high school office with the ladies there and with the admin team. It's just been fun to watch the admin team. She's working with Tanya on certain things. She's working with Brian on certain things, and we know she's going to do really well. So welcome.
Welcome to the
Thank you.
Okay, comments. Okay, we're going to turn off our live stream now because their business is completed, their regular open meeting business is completed. Now is time for item 8, comments from the audience. The comments from the audience. Agenda item is not